Country Legends 97.1, Houston's only home for the Country Legends.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Houston. I'm your host, Chuck Akers. This is the public affairs broadcast for Cox Media Houston. This morning, we have some very special guests in the studio. This is from Jamie's Hope. It's the Jamie's Hope Foundation, Jamie's Hope. There's all kinds of Jamie's Hope stuff going on. Welcome, Cindy Gilmore Barnes. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having us today.
And with Cindy this morning, Monique Wyatt. Good morning, Monique.
Good morning.
And Leanne Perry. Cindy, let's start with you. You are the founder of Jamie's Hope, this foundation that was named for your sister. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization?
Yeah, it's Jamie's Hope. We started it in 2012 when my sister had her fourth cancer relapse. And we started the foundation to raise money for personalized medicine research at MD Anderson, and we started other programs to help other fellow cancer patients. And so my sister has been the inspiration for why we started it.
So 2012, tell us about your sister's diagnosis.
It was her fourth relapse. So she's actually had been fighting cancer on and off since she was 14 years old. And in 2012, it had came back again in her right hip area. And that's when it was inoperable, and we had to ourselves go on a clinical trial. And so that's when we started the foundation to support personalized medicine research, because it gave us a hope. Like otherwise, we wouldn't have had any type of treatment. So we started the foundation. The foundation never supported my sister personally. The funds go to MD Anderson for the research, and then we started our programs like Angel Tree, Bald is Beautiful, Bundle of Hope, and Cheer Up, where we give back to the cancer community, because it's a really hard thing to go through cancer, and we wanted to give back, and so that's why we started it.
A noble cause and obviously a family connection, your sister. Mm-hmm. Did you say that you started these other organizations? Or you started
programs.
them in programs.
Yeah.
Real quickly, because you caught me off guard there. You racked off about 6 or 7 names, and I'm like, oh wait, this sounds pretty cool. Tell me again about the programs that you spun off real quick, and we'll get into detail in a little bit. But just recap for me those programs.
Yeah. So Angel Tree, and that's where we support families who are battling during Christmas. Bald is Beautiful. We do photo shoots for patients who have lost their hair. More like photo shoot experiences.
Okay.
Then Bundle of Hope, I will do like a blanket drive, and then we'll give blankets out at the hospital. We always found ourselves cold and appreciated the volunteerism of them giving blankets out, so we wanted to do some of that sometimes. And then Cheer Up, where we go and give like hospital busy things away to people who are in waiting rooms or getting their treatments or inpatient. Mm-hmm. Crossword puzzles, toys, whatever.
So any kind of a support element that you can provide, you're willing to go for.
Those are the things we focus on, stuff that we appreciated.
That's fantastic. Cindy Gilmore Barnes is with us. She's with Jamie's Hope. Cindy lost her sister, Jamie. In fact, was it about, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago?
Yeah. She passed away on June 20th.
So on one side, obviously a tragedy, a family tragedy, and obviously very personal for you to lose a sister. I can't imagine having to go through that. On the other side, this has certainly opened some doors for the organization. I know that I'm hearing the name Jamie's Hope quite a bit being bantered around among the public affairs community. Is this something that's sort of a rebirth?
I don't know about a rebirth, but a continuation. I mean, we've been doing this 7 years now.
Wow.
I'm sure that a lot of people who have met her and been inspired by her, it reminds you why we started it. And so it brings some people back into the world and reminds them to give back and why we started it. Mm-hmm. So in some ways a rebirth, because it reminds us why we started it, because we lost her, and mm-hmm. there wasn't a treatment for her.
Yeah, it almost seems like sometimes in the passing of a person who's so important to an organization like this, it's, you hear about artists whose works are so much greater after they pass, and I think it's probably because we now do things in someone's memory, and we tend to want to remember the very best about people. And when you have someone like Jamie, who was a fantastic human being. Now she's elevated to an even higher status, which of course has to help you guys in your fundraising and your recruiting and all that stuff. So if there's any upside to losing your sister, it's the fact that this could certainly kickstart a whole new level of fundraising and awareness for your organization. We're talking with Cindy Gilmore Barnes, who has brought along with her, by the way, Monique Wyatt. Say good morning again, Monique.
Good morning.
And Leanne Perry.
Good morning.
And you're listening to Community Houston, and we will be right back.
It's happening Monday, August 26th at Sweetwater Country Club. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Presented by Mercedes-Benz of Houston Greenway and Tenaris. 8 a.m. registration, 10 o'clock shotgun. But we need your help. Go to jamieshope.org. So let's have some fun. Monday, August 26th. It happens at Sweetwater Country Club in beautiful Sugarland. Complete details and packages and how you can make a difference. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Get more at jamieshope.org. That's jamieshope.org.
Welcome back to Community Houston. I'm your host, Chuck Akers. Some very special guests in the studio this morning. Cindy Gilmore Barnes, the founder of Jamie's Hope. They've got an event coming up we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Also, Monique Wyatt is here and Leanne Perry. And Cindy, before we start talking about the golf tournament, Leanne and you have an interesting relationship. Could you maybe set that up for us and tell us how you guys met and how that relationship has panned out?
Yeah, of course. So one of our programs that we were talking about was Angel Tree, where we support families during Christmas who are currently battling and receiving treatment for cancer. And we found out about Lane Rogers, her son, who had been fighting, and we wanted to support them. And so I think I actually reached out and made get an application in, or I know somebody made her, Kelsey, one of our volunteers. Made her get an application in so we could support her and her boys. She's had 2 sons, and so that's how we met, was wanting to support her and her family.
As one of your programs. Mm-hmm. Leanne, I know this is a little bit painful, but it's also a very useful conversation to have. Tell me your experience, your son with cancer, and your introduction to Jamie's Hope, the foundation, and of course to Cindy.
Absolutely. So Lane was diagnosed in September of 2017 with osteosarcoma, which is a form of bone cancer.
He's how old? He was 16
at the time
okay.
of diagnosis. And that was September, and by October he had lost his leg.
Okay.
And Lane was a big baseball player. Mm-hmm. And so many organizations would reach out to us and offer help. And at the time I didn't think that I needed help. I thought I could do it on my own. But Cindy was persistent in wanting a list of items that we wanted for Christmas. And Christmas was the last thing on our mind at the time. And I couldn't imagine Christmas shopping in the midst of such tragedy. And at the time, while it was sad and really difficult, they just got down in the trenches with us and fought our battle with us. They didn't give up on us, and we gave him a list of things that Lane wanted. We had no idea that would be his last Christmas with us, because December of 2018 is when he would pass away, before Christmas. Mm-hmm. And what an amazing experience that was, to be loved on from people that we didn't even know, who came to us and got down in the trenches with us and battled right alongside of us. And not only did they do that, but they did it with a large group of people. They weren't in it alone, and that's where the supporters come in that help and donate to Jamie's Hope. Is they give back to people in their community. And we actually live kind of far out, and we don't live here in Houston. We live in the Conroe area, And I remember one time whenever Lane was really, really, really sick in 2018, and they brought groceries to us. And that was a really memorable moment because it was at a time when I couldn't leave his side and I couldn't go get groceries. That we needed people like Jamie's Hope to come in and help us.
Cindy, is that a pretty common story about people that you want to help and they're reluctant to take it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't know if this question's better posed to Cindy or Leanne. Is it a pride thing? Is it we don't want to bother other people? We don't want to drag you guys into a situation that we view as a very negative thing in our lives right now? I mean, or is it all of those things?
I personally think a lot, especially having just gone through it. You have to really just let people help because you don't realize you need it, but you got to eat. You need caffeine to stay awake and help support your loved one. You need the food, the pets fed. You know, we spent as many days as we could at hospice with Jamie, and you don't want to leave their side, and you have to eat, and you have life that still goes on around
Sure.
you. And so, I mean, because of my experience, I think it was a little easier for me to say yes, knowing that we pushed ourselves on people. Mm-hmm. But I still found myself very reluctant to accept it, not just because you don't want to like take all of this help, but also because it's kind of overwhelming to even logistically deal with it. Like,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
you want to come over and do this for me? Well, I don't really even want to have like spend the time on, not to be rude, but to spend time on the phone to deal with the logistics because you're so overwhelmed with what's going on.
It's
Even
almost too much.
having a conversation about what you need it's a lot.
Wow.
So it's not something that until you go through it that you realize how hard it is to even just simply text message sometimes.
So it sounds like the little lesson there is if you need help, be willing to accept it.
Yeah, I think you just have to set your pride aside. But at the beginning of our journey, I didn't know what our need was. Mm-hmm. But because folks within Jamie's Hope organization, they had been there, done that, they just knew what to help with, just like the groceries.
They knew the laundry was going to pile up. They knew the grass was going to need
absolutely.
cut. It was okay. Yeah, it makes perfect sense that people can come in there and help you in what us would look at as a mundane task, and then when all of a sudden one day your life has been so disturbed that you can't even do the mundane things, then I guess it really starts to hit home that those things are important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember towels being on y'all's Christmas list, and I'm one of those people that go overboard anyway, but I think I went out and bought her like 20-something towels so she could look, because apparently her son would like use the towel and watch, like that's it. And I was like, okay, so she's going to need like, 14 towels to get through 2 weeks without having to do laundry. So I went and bought like a lot of towels.
Yep, that was one of Lane's favorite things to do.
It was a big box full of towels because he liked to take baths.
He was, yes. Baths were one of Lane's favorite things, and it was comfortable for him to
and
sit
that
in
laundry,
a
I
bathtub.
could just imagine because I know my laundry got piled up.
Yep, and right before I came, I actually folded some of those white towels.
Wow. Fantastic that we have one another out there in those times of need. Yeah. We're talking with Cindy Gilmore Barnes along with Monique Wyatt and Leanne Perry this morning. Cindy is the founder of Jamie's Hope, a foundation that, that does a lot of various things to help folks that are going through cancer treatments, and there's more to come. We also have a golf tournament coming up that we want to talk about, so we'll be right back here and give you more details on Jamie's Hope as well as the golf tournament here on Community Houston.
It's happening Monday, August 26th at Sweetwater Country Club. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Presented by Mercedes-Benz of Houston Greenway and Tenaris. 8 a.m. registration, 10 o'clock shotgun. But we need your help. Go to jamieshope.org. So let's have some fun. Monday, August 26th. It happens at Sweetwater Country Club in beautiful Sugarland. Complete details and packages and how you can make a difference. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Get more at jamieshope.org. That's jamieshope.org.
Welcome back to Community Houston. I'm your host, Chuck Akers. With us this morning, Cindy Gilmore Barnes, along with Monique Wyatt and Leanne Perry. Cindy's the founder of Jamie's Hope, a very worthy organization, and you have you have a fundraiser coming up, right? Let's talk to Monique. Apparently, you have some information about the golf tournament.
Oh, yeah. So we have, this year is going to be our 7th year doing our 7th annual celebrity golf tournament for Cure. Obviously, we are the Jamie's Hope Foundation, and we're the ones who throw it on. But this is our 7th annual. It's going to be Monday, August the 26th at Sweetwater Country Club down in Sugar Land, which
nice
I've heard is a
course.
Great golf course.
It is a very nice golf course.
Yes, so we usually sell out both courses, so it's a lot of fun. Cindy likes to say this is not a snooze fest. So if you like to golf and you like to have a good time, this is definitely the tournament to come to.
Good stuff. And again, that was August 26th.
Monday, August the 26th.
Okay, how do people get involved?
So we definitely provide a lot of opportunities. If you're not a golfer, we have opportunities. If you want to volunteer, we have opportunities. Obviously, you can play. We have foursomes, we have twosomes competition. Cindy can elaborate on that for you if you want. And then we have, obviously, we're looking for sponsors. There's different ways to sponsor. There's whole sponsorships, big check writers. If you just want to write a check and donate, you can be. We have different levels of sponsorship based on how much you give.
Okay.
If you just want to write a check, we like you. And then we have
I like how you smile if you just want to write a check.
We also have underwriters and in-kind sponsorship opportunities available as well. Oh, and then volunteers, of course.
Cindy, tell us about the tournament. Is it what do they call that thing? Is that a best ball tournament where I hit and then one of my partners hits, or do you know about that part?
That's the scramble.
Oh.
So this year it is a little different. So we have a foursome scramble where, it's just you hit the best ball out of the team.
Best shot, right? Okay.
Right. But those guys, y'all are just going to be coming out to play for fun this year. Then we call them our happy foursomes and our hopeful twosomes. Our twosomes will be out there to compete to win a trip to play at the Mercedes-Benz National Golf Tournament, actually in Pinehurst, North Carolina. So you will win an all-inclusive trip if you play as a twosome in our tournament.
And is it handicapped or is it just a...
No handicaps, no mulligans. And actually, so if you win our tournament and then you go play at that tournament, if you win that tournament, you get to go to the global, or whatever they call it, the world final tournament, and that's in Germany.
Wow. So there's like an amateur tournament that gets a lot of big publicity and play.
Yes, it is an amateur-only golf tournament. No, like you said, no handicaps, no mulligans. But if you do win, then you get to advance and win a trip to the national final Mercedes-Benz.
In the hopeful twosomes.
Yes.
No mulligans. I'm
Now,
out.
if you're not a golfer and you want to come out and have fun, sign up with a foursome.
Yes,
If you
play
can't
in the foursomes.
How much to play?
It is $6.25 for the twosome and $12.50 for a foursome.
And where can people get in touch with you and get registered?
jamieshope.org.
Oh, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
jamieshope.org. You know
And
the
then
best...
there's a few buttons you got to click once you get there.
But
There's
you know,
a lot for the golfers when they come. I mean, they're going to get breakfast, lunch.
Okay.
I mean, lunch on the course. We have a big dinner. We have drinks. It's all-inclusive day.
Wow.
So we take care of you when you come. So you're paying, but you're getting a lot out of it. And obviously, all the money goes to charity.
That's fantastic. Okay, so it's August 26th. It's jamieshope.org. I get that right? You know the best part about that? You didn't say www.
I wrote that and then I got rid of it.
Oh.
And then I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
There is one other big way, if we have a second to mention it,
Okay,
for
of
players or for anybody who cannot be there, or if you're going to be there, either which way. We have actually a really cool raffle, quote unquote, where we pull a helicopter over a hole and drop a bunch of balls out of it. And it's essentially like a raffle. So you pay for a ball, and the more balls you buy, the more likely your ball's going to fall in the hole, right?
Okay, sure.
And you don't have to be at the tournament to participate in that that raffle, quote unquote. We call it the helicopter ball drop. You can buy tickets for that online, but the winner of the helicopter ball drop will actually have a choice between two trips, all inclusive. One trip is to Cabo, and one trip is to Scottsdale, Arizona. They're going to include either like a fishing or a spa day or a golf day or something like that, depending on what trip you get. And so it's actually pretty awesome. And so definitely, if you want to participate in our charity and in that day and you can't come, you don't have to be present to win. So buy raffle balls.
And we can get those at the website as well.
Same website.
jamieshope.org.
Yes.
And you don't need the www.
Correct.
We're speaking with Cindy Gilmore Barnes, Monique Wyatt, and Leanne Perry with Jamie's Hope. If you guys will hang on just a second, we'll be right back telling you a little bit more about the foundation and how you can get involved. Welcome back to Community Houston. I'm your host, Chuck Akers. This is actually one of the more entertaining interviews I've done in a little while. With us this morning, Cindy Gilmore Barnes, Monique Wyatt, and Leanne Perry. And I warned them when they came in this morning that this is not your typical public affairs show. I'm not sure if they believe me, but by the time they get out of here, they will. Cindy, do me a favor here. Jamie's Hope, I understand you have a lot of different programs and stuff, but can you give me a snapshot of a day in the life of Jamie's Hope, the organization? Like, do you have a specific mission, an area that you focus on? You know, some organizations want to focus on treatment and research. Others want to focus on family support and that sort of thing. In a nutshell, can you give me the target of Jamie's Hope, what you guys really try to focus on as your core service?
We do both. We do the research and the community. So, you know, it's very important to us to have the personalized medicine research aspect of it because Jamie's cancer was inoperable. So we do give directly to a specific research doctor at MD Anderson to help make sure that personalized medicine is more available. And that's where they do the biopsies on your tumors, see if you have a genetic mutation. And so that way you can have a more targeted, direct treatment instead of just standard of care. And so that's the research that we're supporting, and that's very important to us. And then supporting the community while they're going through treatment is also very important because it's hard, as we all talked about.
Sure.
Specifically, my particular favorite, well, it's like all of them. Never mind, I can't say that. Because I love Angel Tree, I love The Bald is Beautiful, and I love visiting the hospitals for Cheer Up. So I kind of like it.
Tell me about Bald is Beautiful. When you told me about this earlier, this kind of intrigued me. I'd like to hear about this. It sounds like a very upbeat, very positive thing.
Yeah. So, you know, losing specifically girls, but we've done kids and boys. We've done the male, but losing your hair is very tragic. More specifically, I think, to women, but it's very hard on men too. I know Lane loved his hair. We bought him hats with hair, so I think he also struggled with that a lot. But losing your hair is really hard. And so we have a beautiful team of volunteers who always support a photo shoot when we have one. And more for the girls, we'll get them dolled up. So, but I also like to find out what someone likes, right? So do you just want a photo shoot? Do you want a fairy themed photo shoot? Like, what are you looking for, right? So one year we had a girl who wanted a fairy-themed photo shoot, and I worked with the Renaissance Festival to go out there. We got her wings, we did her makeup. You know, we did a whole day at the Renaissance Festival. We wore the poor girl out. Oh my God, I felt so bad. At the end of the day, she was like, I just need to sleep. But, you know.
Careful what you ask for,
we
right?
worked with them. They, you know, they got wings donated and like this journal donated for her. We met up with all the fairies in the fairy garden and she took pictures with all the fairies. So it was more of an experience. They put her with the king and queen at the joust. And it was her very first time ever to go to the Renaissance Festival. So that was quite a fun time for a lot of us. And so that's kind of what I like to do with it. It's not just a standard, let's go into a studio and take some pictures. I like to try and build it around maybe like an experience.
Make it special for the recipient.
Yeah.
We're speaking with Cindy Gilmore Barnes, the founder of Jamie's Hope. They've got a golf tournament coming up. We're going to recap that here in just a moment. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the foundation, how you can get involved, and, of course, how you can go out and play some golf coming up here on August 26th. We'll be right back here on Community Houston.
It's happening Monday, August 26th at Sweetwater Country Club. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Presented by Mercedes-Benz of Houston Greenway and Tenaris. 8 a.m. registration, 10 o'clock shotgun. But we need your help. Go to jamieshope.org. So let's have some fun. Monday, August 26th. It happens at Sweetwater Country Club in beautiful Sugarland. Complete details and packages and how you can make a difference. Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for Cure. Get more at jamieshope.org. That's jamieshope.org.
Welcome back to Community Houston. I'm your host, Chuck Akers, in the studio this morning. Cindy Gilmore Barnes, the founder of Jamie's Hope. Also, Monique Wyatt, the event coordinator and longtime volunteer. And Leanne Perry, who is with the Angel Tree program, one of the recipients of the Jamie's Hope Foundation. Cindy, you got a big golf tournament coming up here. We're going to recap and talk a little bit more about the foundation in a minute, but take me through the golf tournament. First of all, it sounds like a fun golf tournament. I've been to some that weren't all that, but this one sounds like it's going to be a good time. Tell us about it.
Yes, our tournament is, as Monique put it, I always say, not a snooze fest. You will hear music and your shots will be disturbed by our teams. Or I don't know, just other people. Like, you know how you're supposed to be quiet when you tee off?
Not at your tournament,
it's not going
right?
to happen at our tournament, so just say it. No, I'm kidding. We have a really good time. It's the Jamie's Hope 7th Annual Golf Tournament for a Cure. It's presented by Tenaris and Mercedes-Benz of Houston Greenway. Yay. It's on Monday, August 26th, which is just a few weeks away. It's at Sweetwater Country Club in Sugarland. You can sign up as a foursome or a twosome, and you're competing. The twosomes will be competing to win that trip to advance to the Mercedes-Benz National Final in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Our golfers, it's pretty much an all-inclusive day. You get great swag bags with stuff that you actually want. We feed you breakfast. We have drinks. We have a fun auction in the morning. You have a lot of game holes. The hole-in-one to win a car, closest to the pin to win a Cobra stand bag. We have a silent auction and a raffle. And if anybody wants to help with our silent auction and a raffle, we're still looking for donations, so you could definitely help us out with that. At the end of the day, we end at our 19th hole, where Flying Vine and Flying Pug sponsors kind of like a party at the end where we have drinks and entertainment. Dinner is sponsored by Grazia Italian Kitchen. Wow. And then our day ends with that helicopter ball drop where someone's going to win a trip to Cabo or Scottsdale, Arizona. So make sure you get those tickets at jamieshope.org.
There you go, jamieshope.org. Cindy, is there any phone numbers that work for you guys, or is it just do everything off the internet?
jamieshope.org, but if you need a phone number, you can call 713-857-5255.
She remembered her number. Isn't that fantastic?
My phone number.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cindy. This is a fantastic organization.
I do want to say that this year we are hitting the green. My sister, I miss her so much already, and her legacy of hope is going to live on through all of us at Jamie's Hope. But this year, we don't only hit the green in memory of my sister, but those who we've just lost this past year, which are Lane Rogers, Bree Spearing, who was actually a volunteer last year as well, Josephine Chavez, Elizabeth Greer, who y'all helped during Angel Tree. Some of your listeners might remember that name, and Orlando Morales, all of which who we've supported in this past year they've all lost their life. So we not only hit the green in memory of my sister, but a lot of other people who've lost their lives, and that's only people who we've touched. In our, there's many other people who've lost their battles.
Said Cindy Gilmore Barnes, Monique Wyatt, Leanne Perry, not a dry eye in the house right now, including me. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming in. I hope your golf tournament is a huge success, and I hope you'll come back and tell us how everything went. We can do a little more fundraising.
We love that.
Thank you, ladies. Cindy Gilmore Barnes, Monique Wyatt, Leanne Perry, not a dry eye in the house right now, including me. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming in. I hope your golf tournament is a huge success, and I hope you'll come back and tell us how everything went. We can do a little more fundraising.
We love that.